Mall Santas of Reddit, what is the weirdest thing a kid asks for Christmas? Before we start with the first story, please hit a subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Number 15. I'm a teacher. I had one of my most difficult, obstinate button pusher kids come in at recess to talk to me. He said he was worried he would not get what he really wanted. To be a real elf, move to the North Pole and make all the presents. He had tears in his eyes and was the most sincere I had ever seen. Made me really appreciate how hard life was at home. He just wished for a way out. When I was like 9, I wrote a goodbye letter to my parents telling them Santa was going to pick me up and take me to the North Pole. I sat out in our car and waited on Santa to show up and take me away. The most dumb thing about this was that it was the middle of the summer. Number 14. I know the weirdest thing I asked for was a pen that could write like a pen, pencil, marker, and crayon. I'd never seen one but was sure Santa could make it. I got a 4-color pen instead. Number 13. Not a Santa, but I had been a Mrs. Claus for the last few years, and I'd always ask the kids what they want while we do our crafts. My favorite was this 4 to 5-year-old girl that told me she wanted one of those loud horns. She made a gesture like she was using those canned air horns, and she made a little horn sound. She said she wants to use it to wake up her baby brother when he naps in the daytime so he knows what it's like. Number 12. We celebrate Chrismas Eve with a large family gathering, traditional Polish food, and Santa. Either an uncle or unknown neighbor gets the honors. Drunk uncles and cousins end up on the roof. There have been injuries, making reindeer stomping noises, and the young kids really get excited. I'm mid-50s, and this has been a tradition well before I was born. I have a ton of stories about Santa on Chrismas Eve. One of the most memorable a few years ago when one of my cousin's kids played Santa. His girlfriend went up to sit on Santa's lap and get her gift. She didn't know it was him at first. The gift she opened was her ring and he proposed. It was really sweet, but it took her forever to say yes. I thought for a few minutes she was going to say no, in front of his entire extended family. So Santa got his wish this time. Another cousin ended up becoming a professional Santa, real beard and all. He is the official Santa of some major Christmas events in our area and is on local TV and radio. Off topic, sorry, I just love the fact this is my family member. He's an Uber driver as well and drives in full Santa garb during the holidays. I love my family. Number 11. Not me, but I knew someone on a message board. He worked as a mall Santa and he gets this 6-year-old girl on his lap, and she told him she wanted a new bladder for Christmas. This poor girl had an underdeveloped bladder or something, so she had to wear diapers and he could feel she had one on. Kind of broke my heart hearing that story because 6-year-olds should be asking for toys or for a pet, not being concerned about their own body asking for a new body part. Fortunately, she was waiting for surgery according to the mother. At 7 years of age, I asked for a Beast Castle. I meant Once Upon a Story set Beauty and the Beast. I just didn't know the name of it. I wonder what the mall Santa thought when he asked me what I wanted for Christmas and I said, the Beast Castle. Number 10. There was a joke a radio host told that I heard about 10 years ago or so, and there was a mall Santa and this kid, and the kid wanted a dumper truck that had a hitch or crane/hook or something, and when it comes time to tell Santa what he wants, the kid says, I want a truck with a hooker. Number 9. My 3-year-old son asked Santa once for a baby rhino. Santa told him that the baby rhino's mama would be very sad to lose her baby though. Then my son said, okay, well I'll take the mama too. Maybe she can sleep in my mom's bed. Number 8. When I was a little kid, about 3 to 4 years old, I told the mall Santa that I wanted blue juice for Christmas. The Santa looked at my mom like, what the vev does he mean by this? And my mom was just as clueless as he was. My mom, being awesome, went out and got Hugs juice and only gave me the blue ones on Christmas. To this day, I have no clue why I wanted the blue juice. I just knew I wanted it. So that's what I told Santa. You bet your ass that I drank every last one of those things. Number 7. I was a Santa in 1997 for a small, authentic Old West village. I was 17 at the time and doing some local theater, and the costume lady was asked to find someone to be Santa the weekend. She told me she thought of me because, well, you're not fat, but you're big. I'm 6'6", 1.98. So I put on a cheap costume that didn't fit well, and the beard smelled like the last Santa threw up in it, and I waited in a prop shed in the plaza that was normally a sheriff office or something. Tall, skinny, smelly Santa in a shed sitting on a plastic lawn chair. It was no wonder all the children screamed when they were put on my lap. None of them asked for anything. In fact, as they were too busy being scared of asterisk, I had a pair of girls and later a pair of guys from the local Christian high school dressed as elves on the first day to take Polaroids and collect money. On the second day they flaked, and I was by myself all day. I charged people money to enter my creepy shed and take pictures of their own kids. Asterisk except for one young lady who was probably older than me and severely mentally disabled. Her parents were so apologetic because she was too old, but she sat on my lap and smiled at me with total naked joy. I can still see her face 20 years later. Number 6. Worked as an elf for a couple years and we had this wish jar that you could put slips of paper in. A little girl wrote something down on a piece of paper, folded it, and quietly slipped it into the jar. The mom came rushing back after they left asking if we could get the paper out of the jar for her. She unfolded it and in crayon it said, "I want Dad to come home." The mother started crying and took it with her. Got some other weird and sad ones, but that one hit me right in the feels. Number 5. Worked as a Santa/elf before. Sad part is low-income neighborhood areas. Being in a large city is great, but with it come more problems. Sister-in-law was working with us at school functions/local mall, where they held the Santa thing. Downright worse things that make you sad. One kid wanted a door because the police broke his to arrest his dad and took him away. Also wanted Dad back. One kid wanted her uncle to stop touching her at night. One other kid wanted running water and food for the house because Mommy didn't have any. I have never volunteered to work there again, and yes, we did report these things to police as they happened, so there was some good, but... Number 4. When he was feeling better, my child looked just like a real Santa. I used to mess with him around Christmas when we were out and about with a quick Rudolph needs to get back to the pole. We need a hurry. I got a lot of really great looks from kids. The best was a shy little girl that came up and asked for some specific doll. Without missing a beat, he says, "I'm not sure what the heck that is, but I'll have Legolas look into it." He always acted grumpy about, but we all know he loved every second. My dad also looks like a Santa. Amusingly, he dresses more like a Hell's Angel or cowboy. He never was a biker or anything, but big guy, long hair, leather jacket. So many kids would be like, "Look, Mom, Santa," or "It's a cowboy," and the parent would turn to look, and just a look of "oh no" on their face and rush the kids off. Honestly, Dad is a big softie, so he is amused by both reactions. He told me recently a guy came up to him and said, "I've been real good this year." And Dad replied, "Okay, what do you want her to look like?" And the guy gave him a weird look and said, "Oh, I'm not into that." And then later Dad saw him walking arm in arm with another guy. Pretty sure Dad was being hit on. Number 3. I was an assistant manager for a mall Santa with no programs. There was a special needs 20-something black guy that would come by nearly every day. He easily weighed more than 250 pounds, so we did eventually convince him to sit next to Santa instead of on his lap. Every time he had to remind Santa what he wanted for Christmas. His list was Home Alone on DVD, Straight Outta Compton on DVD, and Prince's 1999 album on CD. Santa was awesome and brought him the Prince CD a few days before Christmas. Number 2. Many years ago, a small girl would not tell her mother what she wanted for Christmas. Mom told me the problem, and I was to tell her after the kid jumped off my lap. The little girl hopped up and told me she wanted some makeup and some tits. Look, now I have to tell Mom. Number 1. My uncle was a Santa, and he told me that one year a kid asked for a coffee maker because he wanted to start his own Starbucks coffee stand instead of a lemonade stand. Apparently business was not very good as a lemonade stand, but he noticed a lot of adults drink coffee, so he made coffee. That kid is probably a millionaire now. Alright folks, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us today. If you like more of this, please hit a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your own story or thoughts in the comments below. We love to hear from you. I'll see you in the next video.